Well, this is the current readings of the Met Office website as of 4 p.m. this afternoon, and you can see here the widespread temperatures into the 16 to 18 Celsius reading here at Nottingham Watnall. Remarkably warm for this time of year. There's no question about that. You can see here as I skip through the widespread temperatures well above the seasonal normal. 16s quite widely. There was earlier in the previous hour, there was plenty of 17 showing up. Wouldn't surprise me if some were topped out close to 19 Celsius today. But it's all thanks to that high pressure, folks. It's all associated with a strong area of upper level high pressure. Notice here off the upper chart here, the ECMWF interpretation, the air is basically flowing all the way from the Canary Islands down here off Morocco, all the way up into the UK. And you can see that Ireland, the UK, very strong heights aloft. That's supporting that warm air. But enhancing that warm air is that strong southwest to westerly airflow, crossing over some of the hills, allowing some enhancement of downslope compressional warming as well. We're seeing up here in the northeast of Scotland temperatures as high as 17.8 at Aberdeen Dice Airport, as well as that at Aboyne just to the west as well, about 50, I believe about 40 to 50 miles to the west of Aberdeen. Seen a temperature just a fraction shy of that at 17.7. Wouldn't surprise me if the official readings were actually topped out at 18 Celsius. These are hourly observations publicly produced, and it wouldn't surprise me in between those hours of a reading of 18 or 18.5 degrees Celsius. But certainly we're talking about a very mild air mass in place, and we have got to the east plenty of cold air as well continuing to linger, but the truly cold air has eased off slightly. It's pushed to the east of Moscow, giving them slight relief from that. And further south across the central Mediterranean into the parts of Corsica, Sardinia, the south of Italy, into the Balkan nations as well. You notice here the green showing up just slightly to the north of that, but it's been miserable here. Gale force winds, very heavy seas. Malta, I've got a YouTube video on my blog as well showing the conditions there, the nasty conditions in Malta, and there is fairly active weather across the southern part of Europe, and modestly cooler across central parts of Europe, the very above normal conditions of course across western parts of Europe. But as I skip through the sequence, folks, the map really doesn't change much. This is skipping ahead to Tuesday, and you can see here that if it shows up, that is here it shows up. You can see here, folks, the high pressure itself centered pretty much over the south coast of England. So very mild conditions will persist. Unfortunately, with these high pressures at this time of year, it doesn't come clean, so you're talking about a dirty high pressure. What does that suggest? It means that we've got very heavy low level cloud cover, because the waters are very well, not very cold, but they are pretty much at the coldest level of the year that they're going to be. It's at the tail end of the winter time. When you plop a warm air mass on top of that cold water, you've got very rotten, dull, damp, misty, murky kind of weather, and where of course the sunshine appears, and that is always to the eastern part. It's always biased over eastern Scotland and eastern England. Where you get that sunshine, you've got very mild temperatures, soaring 16 to 18 degrees like we've seen today, and I think we're going to see more of that over the upcoming week. By Thursday, you notice here the high pressure starts to sink further south. Also glance your eyes over to the eastern part of Europe. You've also got a re-establishment, an intensification of that cold air over Europe, the eastern part. So Moscow, you're talking about colder weather once again. Wouldn't surprise me if we see minus 14 to minus 16 at night. Temperatures by daytime struggling to minus 3 to minus 6. So very cold weather continues across eastern parts of Europe. Very pleasant conditions. We could be seeing the first temperatures into the mid-20s perhaps for central Spain. Madrid, for example, wouldn't surprise me. Into the mid to late part of this week, temperatures of 24 to 25 Celsius. So certainly very mild conditions, beautiful conditions here. Also notice this upper level feature sitting over the Canary Islands. This could produce some unsettled weather, showers, thunderstorms, windy conditions here. But certainly across Spain and up into France, and as well as that up into the south of the UK, we're talking continued 5 to 10 degrees Celsius above the seasonal norm for this time of year. By Friday, you notice here something. The trough, the heights start to lower considerably across Ireland and northern, even down into the north of England. England overall, you start to see the heights starting to lower. So more in the way of cloud cover, where areas that are going to be very sunny over the course of the next 2 or 3 days. You're also looking at much cooler weather across Scotland, much more unsettled weather once again as well. By Saturday, you see here the trough digging into the UK, showing that we're going to be seeing much colder weather once again. Not particularly severe, but certainly a return to more seasonal temperatures for this time of year. It's going to be a shock to the system, folks, given how mild we are this week. By Sunday here, you notice the trough dropping right over the UK. Could we see some hill snow once again? That's a possibility. Also notice that the conditions start to moderate considerably over central and eastern parts of Europe. Could be looking at the mildest conditions in Moscow in quite some time in this region. So I'm sure if this materialises, that would be very, very good news for the Muscovites after what has been a very, very unsettled pattern. Notice here, moderation, much more west-east flow, strongly Atlantic-driven. Wouldn't surprise me if we see some pretty significant wind and rain events pushing through the UK and then across Europe as a whole. We have a more fluid situation, but you notice here this area of cut-off low pressure here, much cooler across Spain, into France as well, compared to what we're going to see over the next 7 days. And that area of cut-off low pressure could enhance showers and thunderstorms over this region. Much cooler, of course, as well by Monday. Let's look at Wednesday. Notice here, very, very much a west-east flow. You've got this area of cut-off low pressure moving from Spain, where temperatures are warming up in the backside. More unsettled weather once again for central parts of Europe. So we have got a very mild week ahead, and then a turn to colder across the UK and Ireland for the upcoming weekend. That's next weekend, and then you've got a very strong west-east flow. Given what this model is saying, things can change. It's a long way off. That's 10 days away. Hope you can continue to keep checking back to my blog. First-hand weather as well for the US side of things. And as well as that, if you don't follow me on Facebook and Twitter, please do so and keep up to date with my updates. Have a great evening, folks. Bye for now.